Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today we are going to go over, well, kind of how our first real week of pairing is going. We got a little bit of a late start, we'll explain, mostly because we didn't get around to it. We'll let you know how many we're pairing and who's locking, what's excited about that, and kind of how that's going to look in the first few weeks. So first of all, before we get to that, don't forget to like and subscribe. And then too, if you've already started your pairing season, let me know how it's going for you down there in the comments. Check out the Patreon where you can go into a Discord and talk with a lot of people who are breeding or starting to breed and talk about how your seasons are going with them as well. All right, now that little commercial out of the way, let's talk about it. So we usually start right around, I always like to say around Halloween, but really it's between Halloween and Thanksgiving. There's this month we just have to get shit going. We actually paired up for the first time because people have been gone, we've just been busy, was this week. We put our snakes together on, I think Saturday. No, it was Friday. Take that back, we did it on Friday. Was it Saturday? Yeah. It was Saturday. Saturday we'll call it the 18th, roughly. So we were right in line, about 2 weeks after when we can start date. We won't pair everything right away. That is something else to consider. If you have a snake that goes really late in the year, you may have to wait a bit to pair it. So there's some that may wait until January or February before they get paired. But we still start. The reason we have to start that early is, or the reason we have a seasonal, a lot of people have gone to seasonless breeding. I guess we should talk about that and why we have a season. The reason we have a season is because I like to make sure and give my males some time off and my females some time off. We're not doing anything but feeding and cleaning and maintaining. So that way I know everybody's getting that time where they're not actively breeding and just get a break. So for us, that break is going to run for at least about 3 months. But it's over now. It's time to get paired up. So we shared a lot of our pairings with you. We'll be sharing a lot more. We kind of got a little system here put in place. Everything you see written in black is the male. The females live in the tubs. They're written up here on this rack. We then move our males to our females. Some of them have more than one female. Like right here, you'll see Suma and Suma. Well, he's not going to both those in the same week. So when you look up here, these first four are paired. This one isn't. This one is. These two are not. How do we know that? See that clip? That clip tells me there's a male in there. I know there's a male in there. What we'll do after this week, when we go to take that male out, I'll pop this clip off. When I pop it off, it'll go on the left side of the next place. That tells me there's not a male in there, but by God, that's where he goes. So we go to do our next pairing, we know, hey, it's this guy's turn, put the male in, put it in the middle. Then when it's done, pops off, goes to the next one. We run our males to usually about 3 females. Sometimes 4 if it's a really good male. A young male, we may limit to 2. And if we limit it to 2, a lot of times we'll do breed week, week off, just to ensure we're not overworking that male. So that's kind of how we do things here. What else you'll see on here is you'll see these L's, right? That L in bright green just means that we have observed a lock. So we do know that that male is locking that female or has locked that female. What it doesn't mean is it doesn't mean that that's every lock that's happened or will happen. Again, we've only been paired up for a couple days. Sometimes you can pair up a snake, he'll lock within 15 or 20 minutes and be done within an hour and you'll never see it. So in that case, maybe this has had a lock and we just don't know. But we'll eventually catch as we go through. This knows things are going good. So how is it going? Well, we had 34 males we paired up this week. 33 males we paired to females this week. Out of those 33, we have already observed locks on 14, which is just a little under half. I would say 17.5 would be exactly, no, 16.5 would be exactly half. Yes. So we're, right about there. Truth be told, we'll probably pick up another 3 or 4 or 5, and that's kind of to be expected. This is kind of what I expect the first part of the season. Not every male's going gangbuster. Not every female's ready yet. But we're starting to see these locks. That's telling me we're in the right area. We got pheromones running around. We got males who are starting to get into that spot. So that's not really bad news or encouraging news. That's just kind of what I'd expect. I'd expect to start seeing some locks. That number, about half, is about what I'd look for. If we were running about 75%, I'd be like, damn, we're kicking ass. If we only had, say, 8 locks or 7 locks, I'd be like, ooh, that ain't real good. So we're right where we should be. Now, with that, we do have some very encouraging news. Most of the females we're pairing right now are not first-time females. There's a few exceptions, but not many. We will have first-timers, but this rack, we filled this rack with mostly breeders from last year. As they laid, we moved them in there. There's only 2 exceptions in this rack. That Super Pastel Xanthic was not bred last year, did not lay last year, and the Champagne Inchy did not lay last year. Only one of those has been paired up, and we have not observed a lock yet. We did, however, rotate in 4, or well, at least 4 brand new males this year. Probably more than that. Definitely more than that. Probably about 6 or 7. Out of those, brand new males tend to be something that takes a little time on occasion. You know, they got to kind of figure it out. You know, they're not always, they're kind of like that junior high kid at a dance. You know, he really wants to talk to the girl, but he's a little scared because she's taller than him, and you know, all those things. And so he kind of hides in the corner. That's what happens with some new males. Well, we got some stud muffins because 4 of those new males have already locked. That would be the Super Inchy Lesser Fire, whose first attempt, bam, he's knocked it out of the park. So that is great. He's a smaller male. He's one we'll actually have to monitor just because of size. We also have the Champagne Scaleless Head male. So he got to get bred a little bit last year, but we never observed a lock out of him. He was just kind of there. He rotated in and out with another male, then just we stopped breeding him. First time we paired him up this time, bang, he's getting a lock. So that's another male we're going to be able to hopefully prove out this year. We have a leopard male who was originally supposed to be a female. Found out he was a male. He's been thrown to something over there. I believe it's to I want to say it's a pastel lesser champagne. And that's locked up and doing well. So that's another first time. And then last but damn sure not least is a banana pied male that we picked up this last season. He's up to size. He went to his first girlfriend and he locked up right away. So that's also a good sign. So it's the 4 new males that are locking. I think with the number of new males we have, which is probably around 7 or 8, that getting 50% of those to lock their first attempt, that is encouraging. That's actually very, very encouraging. So I'm really happy and excited about that. There's a few I'd like to really get going. Like we have a pastel calico blitz head xanthic male. Really would like to see him lock. We also have a blackhead mystic yellow belly or specter male that I really want to see him get his first lock in. But here's the thing, guys. When you have those first year males and you put them in there, especially those young ones, they don't lock right away. Don't get too bent out of shape about it, okay? Give it some time. They got to learn how to swing. They'll get there. So that's kind of how the first part of this year is going, and our breeding is going. Pretty good, pretty good. Kurt, anything you want to add?
When you first start breeding, do you notice any difference in how the snakes feed?
Yeah, I think when you're getting into that first part of breeding season, you get pretty voracious appetites, you know, especially from your females. Your females tend to be, I would expect that this rack, once they're unpaired, are going to eat really, really good for us. I expect good things out of that. Males are a little more hit and miss. I see some males get into breeding season and just not want to eat. That's the scary part, because if it's a good established male, I don't care. He can do that for a while. But some of these new males we're talking about, that Super Inchy Fire Lesser, the Super Elf, if he slows down and just doesn't want to eat, then you may have to rotate him out of the program to save him from himself. And that's a little bit of a bummer. There's some tricks to it. You can try some smaller males. This is where some ASFs may come in handy, things like that. So that is something to definitely monitor. But usually your females eat like gangbusters, and then they all of a sudden won't. So I expect these girls to be packing on weight like it's their job. This is where we talked about in our previous video about some of the tools that you should have in your ball python room, especially if you're breeding. We said, hey, you know, a hook can be good to open a tub. This is why, because come feed day, if I open that tub down there, they're going to bite the shit out of me because they're looking for the next thing to come in. It's just, it is what it is. That's a great, great thing. So I expect some good feeds. Anything else?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, did you raise your hand?
Yes.
Okay. What's your question?
So on your example about the junior high dance and the boy afraid to ask the girl because she's taller than him, was that a short joke for me? Or is that because male ball pythons are normally smaller than the female.
So that actually was not a short joke for you, although now that you mention it, it would have been a pretty damn funny one. It was more of a comparison that male ball pythons are smaller than female ball pythons, and typically in the human world, females tend to hit that growth spurt a little faster than the boys catch up. So it's not uncommon that in that junior high age group in that 6th and 7th grade that you have a lot of girls who are taller than most of the boys. And then by sophomore, that's over. But it was more of a reference of that. But I guess for you, Kurt, that was prom. Anything else you want to add? No. Caleb, what about you?
No.
Did you? Oh, and for that bastard on there who got all but hurt because we made a short joke for Kurt. Kurt just made a short joke about himself. That's what I keep telling you guys. If you're going to work together, you got to have a good sense of humor with each other. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.